So I've wanted to make this video for a while, and I wanted to make it about this project that I'm starting called LessonLog. And it's just a way for me to track student lessons and student progress, as I'm a self-employed tutor. So it's actually kind of difficult for me to keep track of all my students and all different kinds of invoices, different kinds of lessons, what homework I set. So I wanted to make a very concise application to use this. I have had a go at this before, but it was kind of bad and I used the wrong technologies for it, so it's very not scalable. So here's my way of making it better. So the core features of this application really allow users to log in and the authentication stuff. I don't want to use an authentication system. I don't think it requires it. And actually, you can get into all sorts of complications when you do that, such as Auth0. It's good for big scale projects, but this is quite small. So I also want to allow tutors to assign reports or invoices. It's strictly not closed, so I don't want to just make one account for me and with a bunch of students. I want to potentially have multiple tutors. Who knows, maybe people want to use this service in the future. I also want to upload documents, homework files, pictures, latex, MD files, whatever. I want to be able to assign homework to my students, and I want to allow students to see all of this information. And the very important part is a super aesthetic UI, not AI, because I do not think I am that experienced with AI programming yet. So this video is a lot about planning strategies and how I'm actually planning this project. And so this is just a simple board, and I'm using Git Kraken for it. It's the nicest sort of UI that I've come across that provides this sort of boards, and it syncs with GitHub, which is actually really nice. So my first plan of action is to come up with a database schema. So I'm going to be using Postgres for this project, so I need to come up with all the tables and all the relationships and stuff. Create a video about the start of this project. I also want to create a complete feature set. I have outlined some of the core features, but they are not completely done. They are just overviews. And I also want to create a project roadmap. I want to talk a lot about how I'm going to plan this out. So these boards are actually super useful and one of the best tools I've come across in software engineering. They just allow you to keep track of things super well, even if it is such as like quite a small project. And I recommend Git Kraken for it. It's pretty good. I have it free because I'm a student at university. Otherwise, I also want to move on to what technologies I'm actually going to be using. So I'm using this project as a way to learn TypeScript. So I am very good with JavaScript. I've created almost enterprise level applications with it. I work for a startup company and my job is to be a front end developer using React, and I've just gotten really, really good with JavaScript, but I have never touched JavaScript's better brother, which is TypeScript. So this is where this project comes in. I am completely new to TypeScript. Obviously I know JavaScript well, which I think means there is not much learning curve. I have set up some TS config and I haven't completely looked at this, but I think it works quite well. Point of action is that I'm actually going to be using Express to host my backend, and I just have set up a really simple application on the screen using types. So I actually find it really strange using types in JavaScript and with Express, but I actually think it makes developing super nice. I haven't had too many issues. In terms of database schemas, I'm going to be using Supabase. Supabase provides a really nice Postgres application, and you can either access it using raw Postgres requests, or you can use their quite nice supabase.js package, which allows you to basically do everything bar run custom SQL. So that was the short video that I wanted to make. I'll put the GitHub repo down in the description if you want to take a look. But the main goals of this project will be to create the absolute best project I can, to actually use it with my students, which will be really useful. But it's also to come up with best practices. So I like to think I'm a pretty good programmer. I can code quite well. However, I have limited software engineering experience. I am working as a software developer, but it's all still quite new to me. So I would like to incorporate a lot of the software engineering tools that companies are using, such as the board, such as the pull, even basic stuff like pull requests. I want to pull requests to myself, which is a little sad, but will give me more experience on that stuff. So yeah, that's the video. I'll come back with an update on some features.